what's up everyone? It's Rayvon from Love Lola and welcome to my channel. Today I am so excited about the bag that we're making because it's a fanny bag. It's a waist bag. I call it a fanny pack. I don't know. I'm an 80s baby, so you know I love it. And I put this here because I thought it was so funny. The bag that we're making today is called the Louie Waist Pack, and it's by UhOh Creations. And so a little while ago, I made a traveling bag. This is called the Michael Travel Bag, which is also by UhOh Creations. And I did not plan this at all, but I noticed that I used a similar style trim for these two. So I don't know what it is about Tara's patterns, but it brings out this trim in me. I don't know. I promise you I did not plan it. But anyway, this is one of her other bags that I made. But let's talk about this bag, y'all. I love this bag so much. My lighting is a little off, so I'll try to, I'll just add some pictures. But yes, so this bag comes in two sizes. I'm going to try it on for you so you can see. This is the medium size. It comes in a medium and a small. How cute is this fanny? Oh my gosh. So let me go over the specs really quick. It comes in a small and a medium. This is the medium. So the small fitted size is 7 3/4 inch wide by 5 inches tall and 2 inches deep. And this medium is 9 3/4 of an inch wide by 6 inches tall and 2 1/4 inch deep. So this is 25 centimeters by 15.3 centimeters and 5.7 centimeters deep. I don't know what to say. I love this bag. It's so freaking cute. Obviously, it can be used on your waist, and if you're like me, you're probably gonna wear it around your chest too, just because it's so darn cute. Why wouldn't you? Okay. And I think it's adorable. You can see it. What do you think? Do you like it? I know you like it. So it has a double zipper, which makes it really easy for getting in and out, obviously. How cute is this fanny pack? I love it. It's so cute. Adorable. I got my bag, like, I'm ready. I don't know where I'm going, but I'm ready to go. You wanna go with me? Come on, let's go nowhere. But no, all jokes aside, how awesome are these patterns? Like, get out of here, Tara. Yes, honey, yes! I can dig it, I love it. I've been sick, so please excuse me. My voice, I sound like I've been smoking for 40 years and I've never smoked a cigarette in my life. I lie. I smoked a cigarette one time in my 20s and I immediately threw up. It was too much for me. I don't know. Anyway, so this bag has a zipper pocket on the back. Pretty dang convenient. I don't know what I was looking for. It's the pocket. But oh gosh. I thought it was really cool the way she did the strap. Like the way she made it. I know it's nothing, it's not a big deal, but I thought it was cool. The way that my lighting is just doing whatever it wants to do. I like the way that the strap comes back over the wing. Usually it just comes out the side right there, you know, but she did it where it goes back over, which I think is a great detail to the back. I don't know, I like little things like that. All right, so let's get started. First thing we're gonna do is go over our cut pieces. I will say that I like for my smaller size bags to be pretty stiff and sturdy. So I did use Pellon Peltex as a stabilizer. So first I have my base piece. You should cut one exterior and one lining. I did add a piece of stabilizer. It's 12 inches by 1 7/8 inches if you're interested. And I just centered that, and then I placed my Emmaline heavy interfacing on top of it and fused it down. We've got our back bottom piece. You need one exterior and one lining. For this piece, I cut my stabilizer 9 inches by 4 inches. Again, centering it and covering it with Emmaline heavy to fuse. For my main front piece, I just took the pattern piece and traced it, and then I just cut the stabilizer about probably about 6/8 of an inch smaller than the perimeter. You should have one of these in your outer fabric and 2 lining. We've got one lining piece of our back lining. For our back top, you should have one exterior piece cut. And I cut my stabilizer 9 inches by 5/8 of an inch, centered it, and then placed my Emmaline heavy on top of it. For my strap wing, you should have 2 exterior of these cut. For my strap wing pieces, I did not use Pellon Peltex. I just used the Emmaline heavy to interface it. My zipper gusset, I also only used Emmaline heavy, no Pellon Peltex. You should have one in the exterior cut and one in your lining cut. And then we have these little zipper pieces. You should cut 2 of them, and it should be mirrored. So cut one out, flip it over, and cut out the other. All right, that's it. Let's get started. Okay, let's get started. I do want to warn you that I'm a little under the weather. My throat kind of hurts to talk, so let's play a game called just kind of follow me, do what I do without me really talking too much about it. Y'all want to play that game? Okay, great. All right, let's get started. So you want to grab your lining back bottom piece. Now don't get these mixed up because we have a back bottom lining and then we have a back lining. Right now you want to get the back bottom lining piece, okay? We're gonna place that right side facing up, and we're gonna lay our 9-inch zipper right side up and centered. You want your zipper to be closed with the zipper head to the left. So closed to the left, opening to the right. Once you've got it centered, go ahead and pin it. We're gonna base this on at about 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Now grab your exterior back bottom piece and place it right side down, lining up your edges. And let's get it clamped together. All right, and let's go and sew this at 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Oh yeah, if I didn't mention, go ahead and mark the center of all of your pieces as far as the lining and the exterior main pieces, the zipper gusset, and the bases, okay? All right, let's turn this over and finger press. Okay, and now we're gonna go top stitch on this exterior fabric at 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Okay. Let's grab our back lining piece. And we want it right side up. And we want to lay the piece that we just did right side up, right on top of that. And we want to make sure that it's centered from side to side. Okay, now let's grab our back top exterior piece. And we're going to place it right side down and centered. We're going to get those clamped together, and then we're going to sew it at 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. I'm going to go ahead and pin this together really quick. We want our sides and top lined up. Okay, and now we're going to go and sew this at 3/8 of an inch seam allowance across the top. Okay, so now we're going to finger press this top piece up. So our top piece, we want to push that up. We also want our seam allowance to be going up, but that lining piece should stay going down. And now we're going to go and top stitch right across there at 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Okay, grab your main pattern piece, and we want to place it where it is centered. That dotted line is centered right down the zipper. Go ahead and mark, if you haven't, we should have already, the center of this top back piece. Okay. So we want to place the center of this pattern. So we want to place the center of this pattern piece right on the center of that. And then we also want the dashed line to be lined up with the middle of the zipper. So that dashed line should be going right down the center of the zipper. And now we're going to trace around this pattern piece. Make sure you have your medium pattern piece. If you cut out your medium and your small, both, don't get those mixed up. That would suck. Okay, and then just do the same thing to the other side. And then we're just going to cut along that line. I'm not going to cut my zipper just because I don't want to. Okay, now grab a lining main piece. And you want to place it right side down. And then grab your back piece and place it right side up. We're going to pin it and then baste it together at about an 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Just get it lined up as best you can. Okay. Oh crap, Ray. So I was planning on adding my label to the back of my bag just because I felt like there's a lot going on in the front. I don't think I want a label standing out. What do you think? I don't think I like it. Alright, so I'm going to go and take a few of these threads out. Probably do it about an inch down and centered. Okay, let's work on our zipper really quick. She says that you need to go ahead and cut your zipper down. We're doing medium, so we need to make it be 17.5 inches exactly. So I've done that. And this bag has double zipper on it, right? I think so. I think that's what I saw. If it doesn't, it does now. I'm pretty sure I saw that it had 2 zippers. So let's go ahead and get our zipper pulls put on. All right. Okay. So these little zipper fling things, you want to grab one of your zipper lining pieces and you want it to be right side facing up. And then you want to line up this edge of the zipper with the edge of that zipper thing, and you want the bottom to be lined up as well. So the side and the bottom. Now I'm going to pin that, and then I'm going to baste it really quick along the side at 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Okay, now we're going to grab one of our exterior zipper pieces, and if you haven't already, go ahead and take that mark and transfer that onto your exterior piece. Now we're going to place this right side facing down, lining up the bottom and the side, and let's clamp that together. And now we're going to sew this at 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. But when we get to this dot, we're going to stop. And then we're going to just tug the zipper until it lines up with that slant right there. You see that? All right, this used to be 3/8 of an inch. You see my new little mini table I got from, oh, what did I get it from? Something Relic, I believe. I love it. I'm going to adjust it to 3/8 of an inch. I love it. Before I was just kind of sewing blindly when it came to seam allowances, or I was drawing it on each piece, and now I can just set it and I'm good to go. I really do love this. I need to do a review on it. I haven't had time. Alright, so here we go. 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Okay, and when we get to that dot, am I there? One more stitch. Okay, we are going to pull, gently tug at the zipper so that it turns. I don't know if you can see because of the angle, but I have tugged the zipper and now it is going at an angle with the tip of that, like we talked about earlier. Once you've got that lined up, tug that zipper to make sure that it's smooth and there's no like huge ripple going on. Okay, and now we're going to continue sewing until we get to that point on that flange or whatever she calls a zipper piece. Okay. That's cool. Okay, so now we want to finger press what we just what we have just sewn together, what we just sewed together. All right, so the wrong sides of that little flap are touching each other at this point. This is an interesting way of doing this. Okay, very neat, very neat. All right, and if you want, you can put a few clamps to get that secured. And now we're gonna add a top stitch right along there. Okay, so now we want to repeat that process to the other side. So I don't want to get backwards, so we're here. We just finished this side. We're going to place our lining piece right side up. Line up the side and the bottom. Yeah. And then I'm going to go and baste that really quick. Now we're going to grab our exterior piece and we're going to match up the sides and the bottom like before. I'm going to pin it and then I'm going to go and get that sewn together at 3/8 of an inch seam allowance, and we're going to do the same thing. When we get to that dot, we are going to pull the zipper down a little bit until it's matched up with that, and then continue sewing up. I'm not going to show it. Okay, just like before, we're going to finger press that out. And then go and top stitch at 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. All right, once we have that done, let's grab our zipper gusset piece. We want to lay it right side facing up, and then we want to grab the zipper we just worked on. We want it right side facing down, and we're lining up the side that we did not add those little zipper things to. We're going to clamp it together, and then we're going to baste it at 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Okay. Now we're going to grab our lining, our gusset lining, and we're going to lay it right on top of that. So the zipper part is sandwiched in between. So our zipper gusset is right side facing up. Our zipper piece is right side facing down, and this lining is going on top, right side facing down. And we're going to sew these all together at a full seam allowance, so 3/8 of an inch. All right, I had a little bit hanging off of one of my edges past the exterior gusset. I just trimmed it off. Now we're going to finger press like we have been doing. Okay. And now we're going to go and do a top stitch along the top of the exterior gusset next to the zipper at 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. If you want to put a few pins in there to hold it, go for it. It won't hurt. I like to do it just along my edges to keep everything aligned. actually go ahead and finish sewing around this entire thing, basting everything together. Okay, so after I finished my zipper stuff, I took a moment to go and make my strap because I decided I didn't want to use webbing. Lavender and Twine, they have a really cool collection of strap options, and it's free. So if you like the way that this looks, then head over to Lavender and Twine and you can download that, you know, purchase it, but it's completely free, and then download it, and it comes with a video with a nice tutorial. So yeah, that's what I did. All right, you want to grab your wing and you want to fold it where right sides are touching each other. Then you want to grab your strap or your webbing and slide it in so that you have about 1 inch sticking out on the other side. And you want that to be pressed up against the top of that wing. Okay. I'm going to pin it. And then sew along this edge and down that curve at 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Okay, you don't want to trim your that extra webbing, whatever, but I'm going to trim my seam allowance on the side just because it's giving me a little bit of bulkiness. There we go. Perfect. All right, let me try that again. Okay, yeah, that's much better. Okay. Much, much better. I'm going to roll my seam allowance a little bit. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to top stitch around this entire panel at 1/8 of an inch seam allowance, also across that open end, so that we're basting it shut. So across the whole thing at 1/8 of an inch seam allowance, and then from there we're going to go in 1/4 inch from what we just sewed, and from there we're going to go in 1/4 inch from that top stitch and sew there, 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 and then we're going to go again in another 1/4 inch and sew around like that. Okay. Okay, I'm going to start right here. 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Now I will add, if you did decide to do a strap, it will get very thick right around there. So if you have a domestic machine, just be aware that it might be best to go ahead and do webbing. But, you know, do you? Okay, so now we want to be at about 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. If you're making a strap, if you're making your anchor like me where it matters what side is showing, then you want the side that you want to show to be facing up when you do this, okay? And same as before, we're gonna leave about 1 inch on that side, and we're going to line up all the other edges. And then we're going to go and sew at 3/8 of an inch along that side and that straight edge. Pull it through. Make sure it's the right way. Okay, yes. Perfect. Because I'm using the other side to kind of show you what I did. That sucks. Oh, look, I can do it this way. Dang it, I just realized that I didn't have my recording button pushed for that step that I did, so I'm going to try to just talk you through it. Dang it. Okay, so we were here. It's going the other way because I'm using the other side to kind of show you what I did. That sucks. Oh, look, I can do it this way. Okay, so this is what I did. We had this piece with this sticking out. We went ahead and put our buckle on. And when you do it, you want to make sure that your buckle, what is going to be the correct side of the buckle, is facing up when you do that, okay? So I know that this is the right side because the screws are on the back. You want that to be right side facing up, and then you run your strap through it. Okay? And you want to fold that at about 1/2 inch, a little bit more than 1/2 inch, okay? And then what you want to do is measure in 1/2 inch from where you folded this strap, and using an erasable marker, you want to draw a line at that mark. And then you want to scoot it over so that you're at 3/4 inch and draw another line down. And then you're going to go and sew a top stitch that rectangle that you just made. And along the top, you can just stitch right on top of the stitching that you already have. Now, I did mine a little bit different just because I did not want my thread to show on just what I have going on. I didn't want that thread to show from the box. So what I did was I went ahead and made those same marks at the 1/2 inch mark and then the 3/4 inch mark. And then I just top stitched along the top and the bottom to secure it. But I just didn't go up and down because I didn't want those stitches to show. Instead, I'm going to be adding a rivet right in the middle of where that rectangle would have been. Okay, now let's grab a D-ring. Okay, let's grab a D-ring, and we're going to slide it on until it fits snugly right where you ended your stitching. Okay, now we're going to measure down about 1/2 inch from that D-ring. And mark it on here. And then we're going to stitch down, back. We're going to basically stitch from this end up to the mark we made, down and back. Again, I'm not going to go down because I don't want that thread to show. I'm going to just be stitching along my top and my bottom and reinforcing with rivets. I'm just kind of eyeballing it. Not too concerned about the placement. Okay, let's grab our back main panel piece, place it right side facing up, and then we want to measure down 1 inch. And we want to line up the side of our wing with the side of the panel and the top along that 1 inch mark. And we're going to do the same thing for the other one. 1 inch down, align the sides. There we go. Okay, and now we're going to go and baste along both sides at 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Okay, we can set this aside for later. And I just realized that I never finished my gusset, so let's do that really quick. Let's grab our base pieces. We should have a lining and an exterior piece in our base. We want our lining to be right side facing up. And then grab our zipper. And we want that to be right side facing up as well. My zipper panel is just a tad bit wider than my lining. So I'm just going to center it. I don't think it's a big deal. Now we're going to grab our base. I'm going to place it right side facing down. And now we're going to go and sew all of this together at 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Okay, we're just going to finger press it open. So now the now the base lining and the base exterior pieces are touching wrong sides together. We're going to finger press that down, and then we're going to go and top stitch along the exterior base at 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Okay, let's do the same thing to the other side. Lining is facing up. Zipper gusset is facing up. And base is facing down. All right, and I'm sewing it at 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. While I was over there, I went ahead and flipped it over and did my top stitch. And now I'm going to go and baste my lining to my gusset, that base part. I'm not sure if I told you before to baste these little zipper things we did earlier closed or not. I just noticed mine's weren't. So if yours aren't basted shut, the raw edge, go ahead and baste it shut. All right, let's grab our front. I feel like we should mark our midpoint in our gusset, so let's do that. It always helps, right? So I'm going to line up my gussets where the zipper is connected to the base, I guess. And I'm going to fold it. Oh, okay, I do have it marked. Okay, great. So we have our middle of our gusset marked. Perfect. And I guess I will mark the middle of my zipper as well. My zipper gusset. Okay. Grab your front panel. Now, if you want to do a label or anything at all, you should have it done at this point, okay? So we're going to lay the exterior front right side up. Okay, so our main lining is right side facing up. Our gusset is inside out. And we're going to be attaching the side that has the raw edges exposed. Match up the midpoint. And then also, there was a mark on your pattern that tells you that's for the gusset marking. You should have transferred that onto your panel, and now you're going to make sure that where those two gussets connect, that's going to be on that mark. Pin that on both sides. Now line up the bottom. Now we're going to pin all the way around. I did put a few slits in my gusset to help with those edges. All right, and we're gonna go and sew this at 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. I do suggest sewing the straight part of the bottom first and the straight part of the top, and then going back and getting those curves. It just makes it a little bit easier. Okay, so this is where we're at. Now we're going to grab one of our lining pieces. If you haven't done so, get that marked for the gusset. Marked. Okay. So our front panel is right side facing up. Our main panel lining is right side facing down. We're going to line up our midpoints. And we're just kind of squishing that gusset in the middle. Okay, now we're going to line up that part that is supposed to be lined up with the gusset. Okay, and now we're just going to go ahead and clamp all the way around it. But when we go and sew this, we're going to leave about 4 to 5 inches open along the bottom because we're going to be turning this out. So go ahead and make sure that you leave a mark so you remember when we sew this together that we're going to leave this opening along the bottom. Make sure you top stitch really good because it's going to be a little tough. Okay, so when we go and sew this at the machine, we're going to be just stitching right on top of the top stitch that we just did the first time, okay? So just right on top of that. Make sure you've remembered to leave that bottom piece open. Go and sew this at the machine. We're going to be just stitching right on top of the top stitch that we just did the first time, okay? So just right on top of that. Make sure you've remembered to leave that bottom piece open. Okay, she says to go ahead and trim the seam allowance on the bottom curve. But not along the top. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to top stitch along from where this gusset meets this little top piece that we did on the main panel. We're top stitching on this main panel all along that curve, and then we're going to stop when we get to the other gusset. And we're doing this at 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Okay, once we have the top part around the zipper top stitched, what you want to do is trim down the seam allowance on that bottom curve where that opening is. And now we need to close this up. So what she says you can do is get a piece of double-sided tape if you'd like.
And then you can fold that under. And now we're going to hand stitch to get this closed. You can do like an invisible stitch, or just do whatever worked for you. I grabbed the wrong needle. This needle is so short. And I just put lotion on, so this is going to be fun. Oh gosh. Okay, so. Okay. Now grab your back piece. And don't forget those markings, remember, for the gusset. It's on your main exterior piece. Use that to mark on your panel. So once we have that marked on our main piece, this back panel piece is right side facing up. We're going to grab our other piece. And I did go ahead and snip in my gusset because it just makes it a little bit easier. And we're going to line up those mid pieces first on the top and the bottom. And then we're going to line up those gusset marks, and then we're going to put, then we're going to stitch all, then we're going to clamp all the way around. Jeez Louise. Get it together. All right. Okay, now we're going to go and get this attached, the back piece to our gusset. Just like before, remember, it's easier if you sew along the straight edges first and then go back and do your curves. She also said that it might be easier if you sew around at 1/4 of an inch seam allowance and then go back and do it at 3/8. So those are just some tips that she gave. You know, do what works best for you. All right, y'all, we're almost to the finish line. All we have left is the binding. My favorite part. Psych. I hate binding so much. If it was a person, I would slap it. If you came here for a video on how to do binding, you're in the wrong place. I'm not about that life. So, yeah, if you don't know how to bind, then there are a million videos on YouTube. I encourage you to check them out. Okay, once you've got your binding done, go ahead and get your bag turned out. Oh, that's pretty. Okay, and then we are going to finish up our strap. So if you are using an adjuster like I am, you're going to make sure that your strap is not twisted and it's right side up. Grab your adjuster and it's right side up. Feed it up and back down. Lola. And then you're going to run it to that buckle. And you're going to go over. Make sure that nothing is twisted. Flip it over. And you want to give yourself some wiggle room here. So we're going to pull that strap up a little bit more. Okay. And now we're going to just take this strap and run it in there. And now we're going to grab it and run it back through the other side. There we go. And now you can either put a stitch right here to hold it together, or you can add a rivet, whatever you like. think I'm going to go ahead and add a stitch. If you like, you can add a end cap or a strap end, or you can do edge paint, or you can just fold it over twice to hide that as well. That's an option. If you pull it through, you can fold that under like that. That might be what I do and call it a day. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go and add a stitch there, and I might add a rivet on top as well. Y'all, I freaking love it. Oh my gosh. I love it. Look at that. I'm an 80s baby, so I'm all about a fanny pack. Maybe that's why I'm so hype. I don't know, but I love it. Look at, oh, so pumped. This is so cute. Tara, yes. And y'all know I'm extra. I had to add a little bling, so I did add a little bit of chain on the side right there. That's cute, huh? Oh my gosh. I am in love. Okay, that's it. We're done. I hope you love your bag the way I love mine. Oh my gosh. Alrighty, that's it. I hope you love your bag as much as I love mine. Thank y'all for joining me today to make it, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.